What is the most memorable moment ever happened during one of your streams?
As far as I know, I was one of the first Twitch streamers I don't know in mainland China, and I live streamed the Great Wall of China.
Oh wow,
great
that's
signal,
incredible.
And it was my first time ever on the front page of Twitch, and it was like a very defining moment where wow, we're breaking barriers. We now have new equipment, we have new technology. We're in a country that doesn't get live stream much to the West. I feel so proud of those moments.
Good afternoon. Welcome to episode 3 of To the Moon with yours truly, The Stock Guy. Every week, we get deep dive into conversations about life, finance, stocks, and careers with unique and sometimes talented guests. There is a disclaimer here, guys. Nothing here is financial advice. We're all just having a good time. This week, we're bringing in somebody you guys are familiar with, an old friend of the show, an IRL extraordinaire, well known for his escapades across the entire globe, as well as, it's going to be the first time we had somebody on here who was a star in their very own music video. How about that? So without further ado, let's bring on the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. JakenbakeLIVE. Welcome in, Jake.
Oh, hey. What's up, guys? That was a good intro.
Hey, Jake, nice of you to show up today. We were a little worried you weren't going to make it.
Dude, I swear you're going to say something mean about me in the intro, but that was pretty nice. That was the best intro, most wholesome you've ever had of me. Feeling good.
This is only the second intro I've ever had of you.
What do you mean?
All right. Now that awkward moment is out of the way, let's just get diving into it. All right. So, guys, for those of you guys, it's your first time here today. This is a great series where we like to get unique and talented people to come on the stream and find out about their life stories, about their journey, how they got to where they were, the struggles, the ups, the downs, everything that kind of made them who they are today. And we're going to find out where they're going. So, Jake is a friend of the show. He's been in here before. Jake, just so you are aware, we are going to be doing Q&A at the end. So for those of you guys who are here now, please feel free to ask questions in chat. Some of them will be put up on screen, and we're going to keep the best ones and answer them at the end during the Q&A section. So let's just dive into it, Jake. By the way, how you doing, buddy? How's things out west?
It's all right. Yeah, I just actually came back from New York. I went to New York for almost 2 weeks and came back a couple days ago. And yeah, this is the earliest I've been up in a while, which is good because you got me up. Thank you. You're always making my life better. And yeah, it's pretty good. Rained yesterday, nice and sunny today, but things are all right.
Okay, all right. Well, we're keeping an eye on Cali out here. Things are good, but just want to know how close do you live next to a major port?
I guess that would be Long Beach, and that would be probably an hour and 20 minutes.
Do me a favor. If your streaming career continues down, will you go work on the docks? Because this supply chain is killing us right now. Long Beach right now, if you're aware of it, I don't know if you're keeping up with it, but there's literally cargo ships, just hundreds of them parked out on the port that can't get in because there's just no workers. There's just nobody there. So I just was thinking about that. I was thinking about you the other day did you just chat and it come up on did you chat in my chat and now it's on the screen?
I didn't put it there. I did chat, but I don't have the ability to put that there.
Why are you chatting? Okay, you know what? Let's move on. All right, Jake. Listen, like I said, it is good to have you here. We have had you on. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar, Jake is a friend of the show. Did have him on last year, pre GameStop, frenzy, where we talk stocks and stuff. If you want to check out that interview, it is on the YouTube. But Jake, I kind of want to get an idea. Like last time, we kind of roasted each other. We had a good time. We talked stocks, but I kind of want to get to know you and like how you got to where you were. I mean, you are one of the one of the I don't know how to put this. One of the most well-known people on the platform. As somebody who is still relatively new to the platform, there is a lot of people on the platform that I knew of getting in, and some of those names when I first got in were Ninja and Pokimane and Trainwrecks and Jakenbake. You were one of those names, and I knew that. Like, you were well known on the platform for people who weren't Twitch savvy or video game people. So, and I'm being dead serious. I'm being 100% honest. You were one of the guys I looked at as like this big, like this guy, like I want to do what he does. He's got it. He's living the dream. And, there's always things behind the scenes that go to that. So I kind of want to understand not where you are, but how you got there. So how did little Jake, okay, how did 5-year-old Jake get from there to being an IRL streamer known around the world? Can you kind of give me a TLDR how that worked?
Sure, I'll try my best to keep it TLDR. I dissected your sentences. You said you were, well, it's fine. But that's kind of cool. You put me up in that upper echelon. I'm definitely going through an ego phase after this show. TLDR, I'll try to make it as short as possible because it could be very long. Yes, take a sip of your Tang or whatever that may be. So I've been on Twitch, like really shortly. I've been on Twitch, like watching since Justin TV. I've been a viewer, like a fan of Twitch. I watch a lot of streamers throughout the years. I never thought like one day, I want to be a streamer. It's like, that's my career life goal. It was never that. Basically, after college, I lived in China for 2 years, unrelated to streaming. I learned so much, like had the time of my life, like actually had so many things that it taught me so much about, I think, like what I want in life. And
can I stop China, you there real quick?
Yep. Yep.
So that's kind of what I wanted to get into. Like, how did you get there? Like, not streaming career, but like the things that led you to where you were. Like, what led little Jake from 5-year-old Jake playing baseball to going to China? What was that? What happened there? How did that come about?
Sure. Yeah. So there's a long story and a short story. The long story has to do with, like, I used to play WoW and be in a Chinese guild randomly, and I took Chinese 101 as a joke in college so I could talk to my WoW guild. And then that developed into me actually studying business in college, and I had to choose a language. And I was like, dude, I should just pursue Chinese because that'll give me some sort of extra little bonus on top of having a degree out of college that might be like, competitive in the, if I'm looking for a job. So I chose it first for like a business decision because I thought it'd be good for my career growing up. But when I got to China, it totally changed. And this isn't just for like a job or to, maybe get a better job. This is like life changing to know another language and to be able to communicate with a whole group of people that I never, would be able to communicate with, and like just see so many more opportunities in life with that. But yeah, it basically started because I took Chinese 101 in college, and I decided to pursue it. And I shortly realized that languages is like one of the most powerful tools, in life. And so I was really interested in learning languages. And yeah, it was one of the smartest decisions of my life, I think, because it changed everything. Like, it definitely paved the way for everything to come.
Okay, so basically, growing up, normal guy, you liked to play video games. You played World of Warcraft. You were in groups with a bunch of people that were speaking Chinese. You wanted to learn to speak to them. You started learning the language. You went to business school. You decided to take Chinese as a language. You started liking it. You wanted to pursue that, and that led you to moving to China.
Yeah, the last semester, my teacher was really nice, and she said there's an opportunity to go to China on a scholarship for 1 year, because I didn't have a lot of money. I was either, okay, I'm gonna get out of college and just go look for a job at like a marketing firm in LA, like a normal marketing major graduate, or I could just go like totally drop everything, go to China for a year. I don't know anyone, don't know anything, barely speak the language, and try something crazy. And I was really like, at that point in my life, I was very like, I guess I still am a little bit, but I love to take chances and to see, like, you never know what opportunity chances may have. So like, I was it was a tough decision when I remember making that decision. But yeah, I just basically, overall just decided that would be the life choice I wanted to make. It was like a fork in the road, like take the path. You don't know what's going to happen, but it could be crazy, which it was, or just, the standard path that I always thought about growing up or through college, so.
Okay. So
yeah.
All right. Now, I love what the idea of taking chances. I often say, the biggest risk in life is never taking any risks. But, a lot of people, even people that are watching right now, are saying, I want to take a risk, but, right? Like, I want to take a risk, but I don't have a family that can support me if this decision goes wrong. Or I want to take a risk, but, what if it goes bad? Or, because everybody's always afraid of the consequences. So were there any consequences you were worried about, or were you just like, whatever happens, I'm willing to let it just do whatever?
Sure. I definitely thought about things. I generally overthink and try to like think pros and cons and like weigh big decisions in my life. But in my head, I basically created the mindset of, okay, Jake, if you go to China for a year, let's say, and you learn the language, worst case scenario, you're not going to be worse off than you were. You might be a year out of college, but you're going to have language ability and experience that a lot of people won't have. And you're going to come back a year later just being basically a better version of yourself. And that's kind of like what I created a mindset for. So I wouldn't be worried about that. You know, some people said, oh, you're going to be out of college for a year. Some companies will not like that. But I figured that what I'm doing will outweigh that. So, yeah, I just made the decision to go. But yeah, I was working at like Best Buy, you know, I was like very, you know, like it wasn't like I had some crazy circumstance. If I didn't have the scholarship, there's no way I would have gone. You know, that they had a stipend and everything in there. So it was like definitely, you know, stars kind of aligned in that way. But yeah, I totally know what you mean. Whenever I speak about this on stream, I always do like, you know, talk to people that, you know, maybe don't feel like they have the same opportunities out there, but how they can still create mindsets to look for those opportunities to, like, you know, take chances, I think. But yeah.
Yeah. And you and I are both, you know, not 20 anymore. So looking back, a lot of the decisions we made were, some of them were great and some of them were bad, right? And the thing is the younger you are, the more opportunity you can make mistakes. Like I tell people all the time, it's okay to make mistakes. You know, people look at us and say, oh, you're 30, you're 35, whatever like that, or this person looks like they have their life together. No one ever has their life together. You just get better at appearing like you do. Like you like, I'm in my mid 30s and I feel like I'm just starting to get my, you know, get on my path. So I always tell people it's never too late. Don't feel like you're 23 and you haven't accomplished a lot, and that means you're a failure. A lot of people don't even get started until they're older. And so, you know, you just touched on something that I think is super important as well, and that's the anxiety. I think anxiety and the fear of the unknown holds so much of us back for you know, going and doing what we want to do. I gave up a very secure thing to chase the Twitch thing after it started gaining some steam, and everyone told my wife she was stupid for supporting me for it, and I was stupid for giving up something. And you know what? I could have failed, but you know, I gave myself that opportunity. And when I used to work in hotels, I used to talk to older people all the time and say, you know, what's the one thing that you wish you could do? And everybody always said something different, but it was generally the same thing, and do it now. Don't take chances, because at some point you're not going to have the opportunity and you're going to spend the rest of your life wondering what is. Okay. So Jake goes from working at Best Buy, learning languages, playing WoW, to going to China. What year did you go to China?
2014 and I went for 2 years actually. So the 1 year, it got extended to 2 years. So I was there for 2 years. Okay.
So this was pre-President Trump, you know, tariffs and the whole thing. So
yeah, it was a good time.
Well, no, I'm wondering because I'm trying to keep in the political spectrum. So you get to China, you're in this country full of people, a culture you don't know, a language you barely know. Everything is what was that culture shock like? What was it being, you know, this American guy landing in China, and just like, what was that like? Tell me what your first impressions were.
Oh gosh. I mean, dude, these are really good questions. I haven't answered them in a long time, but yeah, so I didn't know barely any Chinese. I could say like hi and like where's this and stuff. I took Chinese 101, you know. It was scary. I guess I can just go back into like
yeah, feel free. Give us the meat and potatoes here.
Sure. So like I've always had a long time, like in 2011, I went to Philippines with my friend's family, and we stayed in like, you know, a little house, like almost like in the jungle. And for me being like this like LA suburban kid that grew up and had never had this experience and see these things, it was life changing for me and made me think so much more about like other places and how to like, just when you travel, how to kind of create the right mindset to travel so you get like a positive outcome. So anyways, I carried that into me going to China, to being like, all right, I'm going to go to China. I'm throwing myself out here very uncomfortably, but knowing that, and my mindset was like, as a human, you know, being uncomfortable will make you learn fast. And so when I went there, I was very open to learning as much as I could about the culture and people and how to basically assimilate best I can. And like soak up like a sponge as much information and like just, you know, things, and then just become and try my best to, you know, live like anyone else would in China. So I didn't go there with the mindset. I was like, oh, I'm visiting and I'm American. And like, oh, this is weird. And like I can't get used to this. I went there as like, okay, like this is how it is here. Let's get used to this and let's, start living in whatever way it was. So when I first went there though, I did have a goal was to make a new friend every day on university. So every day I would like be walking to and from class. And I would just say hi to people. I'm generally very extroverted, and I just wanted to make like friends that were Chinese. So I really wanted to get a good experience there, not just hang out with.
What city were you in?
Shanghai, China.
Shanghai. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, I went there with that kind of mindset. But yeah, I mean, it was scary. I didn't know much. I didn't know anything about it. I was packing shampoo bottles in my luggage because when I went to China, I was like, dude, I've always been taught, it's China. Like they don't have the things I might need. And like, dude, they had a Walmart like half a mile away from me. It was just, it was just so different being there. And like right away, I learned so much. And but I would say real quickly, one of the biggest things that was a big advantage was before I went, I did make friends with Chinese international students at my university in California. And they definitely gave me a little bit of info. They were super excited for me to go. They were like teaching me, young generation, just like, little slang and just things that would help me kind of like, just have a better time in China. Like I would understand more when I went there instead of being like, not what's going on, but when I went there, it was easier for me to make friends because I kind of knew a little bit about, the culture, I guess. Yeah.
Somebody just said on the screen, they said luggage full of shampoo, KEKW. All right. I mean, so can I want to say something that I think is really awesome. And that, it's that mindset that you just said. I think that's super, especially for somebody that young, that's super mature, but you went with the idea that, and this is something that Americans get a bad rep for all the time, is going to a country and expect countries to accommodate them. But you went in with the idea of, I'm visiting, I'm going to be their guest and I'm going to follow their thing. So, that's a whole nother culture and you're much more familiar with it than me. But, I really, really, before we start moving into how you got into IRL streaming, because I think this is such a fascinating story,
Sure.
What was the biggest culture shock for you? Some people it's, so much noodles and pork, or some people it's, the courtesy, or some people it's the bowing, whatever it is. What for you was the biggest culture shock? Like the thing because I know you talked to a lot of students and you were prepared, but what was the one thing that you were just like, oh shit, I'm going to have to get used to this, or I was not expecting this?
Wow.
For example, when I went to Afghanistan, right? When I went to Afghanistan, obviously it was a war, but when I was in Afghanistan, one thing that I didn't understand that was a culture shock was there were two things. Number one was like, for example, certain hand signs that we do are bad, right? Or showing the bottom of your feet is an insult, right? Like that wasn't something I was used to. But more importantly, over there, it was like, you weren't supposed to be alone with the women, and there's like, what I'm saying? Like that wasn't something I was prepared for. So there's always different cultural things. So for you, it's like, what was something that was just like, oh crap, I wasn't expecting this, and then you had to really get used to it?
Jesus. God, I would need to think to get a really good answer. Let's see if it's off the top.
Come back. We can do it during the Q&A section.
Yeah, sure. Let's maybe come back to that. I want to say like it has to do with like just interactions, but like in how you interact with people. But let me come back to it so I can give you a good answer.
Yeah, that would be great because obviously a lot of people, their only experience of the different cultures is in movies and not actually, on the ground, which is so much different. Okay. Sure. So now we've got all the way to how you got to China and how that was working. Okay. Now you're in China and you decide, you know what? I just decided, did you learn Cantonese or Mandarin?
Mandarin.
Okay, Mandarin. So I just studied and learned one of the hardest languages in the world and moved to that country, immersed in that culture. But that's not good enough for me. No, I want to learn Japanese as well.
Yeah. So that wasn't an original plan. Basically, after China, I came back to LA and actually had a job working in product marketing for like this app startup company. So I was just basically I was like doing community management, I would say more so than anything, for like about a year after China. and it was really cool. Learned a lot. But towards the end of the year, I was just like, dude, this is really cool, like really good opportunity. Like I was like living in Santa Monica. Everything was awesome. But I was just like, I don't have that same fulfilling feeling I had when I was in China. I don't know if it was being uncomfortable or what it was. And I just I took like a Japanese class at the community center with my best friend. And I was like, dude, I think I want to try going to Japan and learning Japanese. Like, I just want to try learning another language, opening up a whole nother, group of people I can communicate with and understand. And I traveled to Japan a few times while I was in China. I really loved like the food and the people. It was clean. It was just a good time. And so I was 26 or 27 at this time now. And I talked to some of my more professional like people that, would kind of be my mentors in life. I had some older friends that were in, professionals, and they just said, if you want to go, now's the time. Like, don't wait till you're 35, which you could still go, but the younger you go, the worse. Like, it won't have much of it. It probably won't have any like negative side effects on your career going forward. And so I created the same mindset. I was like, dude, I just want to do this. Like, worst case scenario, again, Jake, you're going to come back a year later with, but speaking another language, hopefully, and understanding more about another culture, which will probably help you in your career. And so I told my boss, he was super supportive. I was like, dude, I'm going to go to Japan for a year and study Japanese. And I looked up classes. I saved up $20,000. I sold my car and I went to Japan for a year. And that was my original goal, was to go to Japan, learn Japanese. I was in a language school. I had it all set up. And it was like, that was the biggest leap because it was like all on my own. And I left an apartment in Santa Monica. I sold everything. And I was like, dude, I'm going.
All right. So we go from China back to LA and now Japan.
Yep.
Okay. What year was that?
So this is 2017. I'm almost 27 years old.
All right. So in 3 years, you've now gone from college playing WoW to China to a job in LA to Japan. And now you're fluent in Chinese and Japanese.
No, the Japanese is pretty bad in this. My Japanese is actually really, really bad, I would say. It's like, honestly.
Okay, so how long were you in Japan for?
Elementary school. So I was in Japan for 2.5 years. Originally, it was supposed to be 1 year. But yeah, so how it came to be is like, as I was planning my trip to Japan, I was watching a lot of streaming, and some people were doing outdoor IRL streaming, like, the kind of like 2017 IRL, which it was a good time, but it was different. And I was like, dude, I know how fun it was to be in China. I wish I could share those experiences with people again. When I go to Japan, I'm going to try. So like, as I was planning my Japan trip, I bought like a phone from Best Buy and I just got a selfie stick and I was like, dude, I could figure this out. And maybe someone wants to watch my experience in Japan. And as soon as I arrived, I started streaming on literally the first day, like the first full day I got there after I slept. Okay. I started streaming and
All right, so I'm following along, but what I want to get at is remember, your story is amazing, and I think it's so cool, all the traveling and all of the experiences you had. But the one question is how did you pay for all this? Like, were you working while you were there? Did you like where is this? Because everybody wants to travel or do these experiences, but everybody's worried about how are they going to work? Like, what are they going to do? So what were you doing to earn an income while you were doing this?
Sure. Well, I worked since I was 16 or 17, just like little part-time jobs. So I always had I could talk financially at this time. Like before I went to China, I had $3,000 in my bank account. Like that was my savings, right? And luckily I had a stipend, lived off that. It was okay. I had some part-time jobs in China, tutoring and stuff to help, create some income while I was there. As far as Japan, I was now working, a real job for about a year. I had after I sold my car and everything, I had like $20,000 saved. And I was like, that was my goal, is to have that saved. And I kind of did like budgeting for the year. And I was like, this should last me 1 year in Japan. And worst case scenario, I'll work part-time at like a Starbucks or something. Like, it literally was what I thought. Like, I'll work part-time at just some place in Japan and make enough money to still enjoy my time there. It was very simple. It wasn't really much going on. I didn't really have.
So you went without a job. You just said, I got my savings and I'm just going to go.
Yeah. I went there thinking like this should last.
What was your plan if you ran out of money?
I was going to work a part-time job that should cover what I needed. So like, I literally had a budget actually. So so like you could work at Starbucks, 18 hours a week, and that plus my savings should have been enough. I literally had a year-long budget, like how much money I'd spend each month on food and stuff before I went, because I knew how much money I had. And then that got,
because I always think of the risks of. I always think of the risks of being there, and like I budgeted for a year, but something unexpected comes up and I got to spend half my yearly budget right away. And it's like, then where am I going? Can I get back home? You know, a part-time job is not going to cover, because, you know, so many people always, you know, they say before COVID, the average American didn't have enough money in their bank account to survive a $400 emergency. So if you had a medical emergency or you had like something happen. So, you know, obviously that was a big risk you took, but while you're there, you started watching during Justin TV, you said, right?
Yeah. Long time ago.
So you were watching during Justin TV, you get there and you say to yourself, you know what? I think that my interactions in this new country, my journey that I'm on, I want to share it with people. And I think people would like to watch it. So you bought the equipment and you started streaming IRL. What was your first stream like?
So I already knew Tokyo pretty well because I've been there like 3 times now at traveling. And my first stream was... it's the VOD's gone. There's someone has clips somewhere, but I just started it right outside I was living in a share house Airbnb with like 13 people. It was like the cheapest thing I could get.
My God.
I walked out.
How many bathrooms?
Turned on my camera. I had like 4 side by side bathroom stalls. Like it was interesting little, yeah. Dan, this is like making me emotional thinking about that first day. So anyways, I walked outside.
That's okay, man. That's what it's all about. It's about the journey, man. Like everybody thinks it was a home run, and it was not. I love to hear about the journey. So tell me about it. Your first stream. Tell me,
dude. Just Samsung Galaxy S8 selfie stick from Amazon, some bad one, and I was like, what can I do that's super Japanese? And I went to Akihabara, Ultra Weeb Town. I was like, dude, this is as stereotypical internet Japanese as you can get. And I went there, and I think I had 8 viewers for a while. And, you know, the 8 viewers were surprisingly a few viewers from when I used to stream in 2011. I streamed for about 6 months to 9 months, and I played like TF2 and Battlefield and like, anyways. So I had like some old followers from like 6 years prior that were watching my stream somehow. And so that gave me like that little 10 viewer boost count, which actually I think helped so much. So anyways, I had like 10 viewers. I was walking around. That 10 went to like I think I had like 20 viewers peak on my first stream. And I knew coming from Twitch that 20 viewers on your first stream is actually amazing. Like that's actually crazy. And I was super excited. But anyways, my entire first stream was us looking for a fisheye lens for the stream. And I will never forget the word because the chat taught me how to say kokaku renzu, which means fisheye lens. I will never forget that word for the rest of my life because that entire stream, my very first stream, I went around to all the electronics shops saying like, hey, do you have a kokaku renzu? Like, I will never forget that word. It's so weird, but like, it's because that was my first stream. That was like some random Japanese word I had to learn because I wanted to get this fisheye lens. And our content was to find this fisheye lens. That was my first stream. That's all I remember. I don't remember everything in the first stream, but that was the main part of it.
Wow, that's such a cool story because it's just like, it just defines us because it's like planting a seed and then you come back years later and you see a giant tree and it's hard to remember that little seed, but it started with something so small, which is that first stream. Yeah. So you start stream 1, you have success, like you said, based on Twitch metrics, that's considered success. Your first stream is 20 viewers. How many streams in did you say to yourself, you know what? I can probably do this and make a living doing it. Where was that moment for you?
That was probably a few months in. But the moment, like honestly, within a month of me streaming, we had such high velocity of content. I used to have terms for this stuff. I used to really methodically think about how I stream, but we had a lot of content velocity. It was at an all-time high. And I would honestly, within 2 weeks, I remember specifically we did like a club stream with some of my friends I already had in Japan who took me out. Like we had like a night out drinking, went to a club. And I remember having I think I had like 200 viewers within like 2 weeks. And At that point, I just knew. I was like, dude, Jake, you have to do this. Like it's so hard. It's so hard to get there. Like you're already there's no way. Like this is just, and that doesn't happen on Twitch much organically. Right. So, that's when I knew I had to like keep it going, keep the consistency. And I would say within about 3 months, when I was probably averaging, I want to say I was averaging 1,000 viewers. That's when I was like, wow, I don't need to work a part-time job anymore. This is awesome. And I'm making enough money to pay for my food and me going out and getting drinks and like just the things that I would have been paying for anyways. So this is at worst case is going to pay for my year in Japan until I go back to LA. But then it just continued to grow, and then my entire life turned into streaming. Yeah. So
okay. So you end up getting that velocity, like you just, and a lot of people often say, well, the big streamers or the people who were able to do this to make a living got lucky. And I've always I've never really liked that. And the reason I say that is because, we don't get to the point where we are because of luck, right? Like, even if you get a massive influx of views from a raid, right, you have to still have good content for people to stay, right? It's not like there's nothing that does. You have to build that base. So what I really love about this is that, you're talking about I apologize. Let's get back to this. You're talking about something that is, you put yourself in a position, you were providing the content, you were good at what you did, and you organically grew, right? And 3 months and having 1,000 viewers is absolutely just mind-boggling. Like, I didn't even have my first 1,000 viewers until and I got there fast. I was over a year in before I got that, and that was because of the market crash. So whatever you were doing, you were bringing something fresh. Now, I'm not trying to kiss your butt in any way, but I'm going to be honest with you. Back to what I said in the beginning about you being one of the main names I remembered. I consider jakenbakeLIVE as the godfather of the IRL on Twitch. Like, when I think IRL, I think Jakenbake. I think you are the one who made that what it was. Now, I may be wrong. There may be other people out there, but I always think of Jakenbake as the godfather of IRL. And I always think that that's awesome. And that's something to, really take a hold of. And I got starstruck kind of when I watched your stream. The first time I ever watched your stream, you were in Japan and you were in a courtyard at a table eating. And you were eating with a girl next to you, and that was it. I was just watching, and there was like 3,000 people, and I thought to myself, how amazing would it be to just film my life and have all these people watch me and support me and stuff like that? And then I thought, there's something about this that draws it, because anybody can do that, but not everybody can hold an audience. So you got to that point, you realized that this was something, but for every peak, there's a valley. So during that time, was there ever a point where you thought you hit your peak, or it was over, or it was fun and you're probably not going to sustain this, or you're going to have to go do something else because it's just the fad is gone?
Honestly, growth always continued while I was streaming IRL in Japan. We definitely hit a huge peak, which I remember a lot of people hit a peak at that time, was like when sub gifting first came out. We had like 9,000 subs. It was crazy.
Wow.
And like, I definitely coming down from that to like, I think we usually average around 4,000 subs, which is so bad that my brain uses numbers as my, I mean, I guess it's true, but like, it's just, I didn't really.
It's how we do it. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I didn't really have a come down where I thought about like, oh man, I don't know if this is going to work, because it just kept working. And as we started getting more established, had a better foundation financially and just with connections and people that we were starting to get to know, I just realized like this is probably going to be like my career now for a while, which it now is. So I never really had that thought. I mean, there's definitely like some, negative side effects of literally streaming almost your entire life for 2 years straight. But no, I didn't really have that thought. I think more so I was planning to, how can this grow exponentially? How can this get to the next level and not just be a dude holding a camera, walking around with a selfie stick, in a random city? How could it be, to the next level, which I still don't think we're at yet. And I think IRL is still like not even scratching the surface, but yep.
Yeah. Well, what then if it wasn't the streaming numbers, was there a time during your IRL streaming and your experience and your journeys over there in Japan and whatnot, where you just like you were worried about like the future of your career? Like, was there like, do you worry about you might get bored of it or that anything like that? Like, was there just, I'm just curious, or were you riding that high the whole time?
I don't think I had a time where it's not like I've gotten bored, especially during the IRL. Like I would say this whole year and a half or more of COVID stuff, I wouldn't really count because I'm like, I don't think things are ending right now, but I definitely have been like, this kind of poopy situation, but I'm looking forward because I do think we're going to get out of it very well. But going back to the IRL time when I was in Japan starting, I didn't really have a negative feeling of, okay, this might not be it. I did definitely have some anxieties that started to creep up on me after about a year and a half. Something just clicked and it turned from, wow, I'm on vacation or I'm here in Japan traveling for a year, streaming it, to like, wow, I'm living in Japan and this is my job now. And when that flip happened, it totally kind of messed with me a little bit and made me like, oh, like, dude, how many times could I walk to this spot and get a drink every day? Like, it's been a year and a half. Like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. Like, and so that's when it started to like, all right, how can I now pivot into doing this and polish this so it's more productive for myself and for the channel long term? And that was probably the hardest pivot we've had. But it's never been like a negative looking at it as in like, oh wow, this might not be it, or worried in that sense.
Well, some people also get in that mundane of this is, I'm just bored of this, or I'm going to get bored of this. Okay, forget that. Let's go in the future a bit. Let's go to 50 years down the line. Jake is writing his memoirs, his autobiography, and he's hitting his bullet points, right? He's hitting his bullet points of the most XYZ of everything. What was, if you, as of right now, if you were writing your own autobiography, even if it was 5 days from now, you're done streaming forever, you're writing your autobiography, what is the most memorable moment you would say ever happened during one of your streams?
Okay, so let's just say I'm doing it in 5 days from now, because I don't know what's going to happen in the next few years. So that could be something even better.
5 days from now, Jake.
All right,
work with me.
Oh my God, number one most memorable moment. We've had a lot of insane moments that like you had to be there, and it's just like, how the hell did this happen live on Twitch? Like, that's crazy. Very fun, crazy moments, which is what makes these streams so awesome, I think. But definitely, I would just point out two big highlights of my stream real quick, and they're very similar. One was within my first month or two of being on Twitch, I live streamed the sunrise of Mount Fuji. I did a 14-hour bullet hike with my best friends to the top of Mount Fuji with a little phone on a SIM card and a selfie stick, and was able to live stream the sunrise at like 5 a.m. from the top of Mount Fuji. And like that, I think that is one thing that kind of put me on the map. Twitch Japan like noticed me from that. I don't know how they got word of it. And like just kind of, that was huge. You know, I think it was only like 400 viewers there or something, but it was still like, that was mind blowing to me. And then the next step to that was when the IRL backpack was first starting to be created from Gunrun. He was putting a lot of work into this. I was testing it, and I took that bad boy to China. And as far as I know, I was one of the first Twitch streamers, I don't know, in mainland China, and I live streamed the Great Wall of China. Like,
oh wow,
great
that's
signal,
incredible.
and it was my first time ever on the front page of Twitch, and it was like a very like defining moment where like, wow, we're breaking barriers. We now have new, we have new equipment, we have new technology, and we're in a country that doesn't get live stream much to the West, and this is like groundbreaking. And so those were two things that I definitely think were like milestones for me. Like, I feel so proud of those moments, more than the crazy wild times we'll have out, But yeah, those are big.
That's actually an experience that not just on live stream, but just in life is amazing. Okay, now that we got the most memorable, what was the worst, the absolute just worst moment ever that happened on a live stream?
I haven't
TOS friendly.
Yeah. I haven't shared it to this many people, but I think it's okay because it's like there's no way it would be this retroactive.
It's just you and me. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we've had some weird moments on stream, 100%. We've had some moments where it's like, damn, I probably shouldn't have done that. That was a little bit too cringe. We've had moments where it's like, that was kind of scary. We've had moment being like chased by some like Yakuza guy because I filmed his car for like half a second. He chased me down like running at me, like sprinting, and I was scary. These kind of things have happened, but definitely one of the God, I think one of the worst things was like in my I think I could say this like within my first month or two, I was out drinking and the night got a little weird, and as far as we know from what we have is and some people still don't believe me, but I think I got roofied on stream. So I don't think it was on purpose. Wow. I think I drank because I was at one point I was drinking other people's drinks, which included a room of some girls or something in a karaoke. And I was like, I think I might have third party like taken something or got roofied on stream because I don't remember like hours of the stream. My mods kept trying to turn it off. I kept turning it on. It was very weird.
Scary.
I threw someone has clips somewhere I've seen, and it's just like, it was scary. It was like, dude, it's like, more than 4 years now ago, but it was just like, I've gone out a lot and had nights out, and I've never had that experience where I don't remember anything. And for 2 days after, I was completely sick, and just my body was just, and then,
yeah, it sounds like, I was drugged once as well. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but I understand what you're saying. Like, I just woke up the next day. It was like, I was on my second beer, and then I woke up the next day in my car, like in my parking lot. It was weird, but so that's actually crazy that was live streamed. And the crazy thing is that you end up like taking maybe some other girl's drink and like accidentally saving her because obviously nothing happened to you. Nobody was going to mess with you anyways. But no, that's actually pretty insane that happened on stream. I mean, that's the kind of things that you just, that's scary. I mean, and there's a lot of people that could probably relate to something like that happening. It just wasn't caught on film. That's actually really cool. So I really want to touch also on a couple other things. No, it's not cool like it happened to you. I mean, cool. Like, it's cool that you shared that story with us. I think it's just amazing that happened and I wasn't there. I also wanted to tell you about something else that I saw of a clip on you. But I am contractually obligated for us to take a quick commercial break. But when we come back, I want to talk. When we come back, I want to talk about a couple things. Number one, I want to talk about you and the pinnacle of your career, which is the fact that you did something everyone wants to do and that you starred in a music video. I want to talk about the dumbest thing you purchased when you made money. I want to talk about what your future plans are. And I want you to teach me something, and I'm going to tell you why I want you to teach it to you. And it is going to be so embarrassing for me that my community is going to absolutely love this, but you're going to save my ass if I ever get in this situation again. So next up, the present, the future, and our very own music video superstar, Jakenbake. We'll see you guys in 90 seconds. All right, we are back. For those of you guys who are watching right now, my subs or turbo people, you're going to be seeing us. We're about 90 seconds until the plebs get back in. So let's, while we're doing that, it's funny, Jake, I was telling you about the first time I ever I ever saw your stream. The second time I ever saw you was a clip on the internet. I forgot where it was, of you like sumo wrestling some guy. You were in a thong sumo wrestling.
Oh yeah, I mean that's like more recent. That was about 2 years ago now. Oh gosh, wow.
Yeah, I'm new on Twitch still,
COVID,
dude.
but yeah. I mean, that's crazy because that's because of COVID. But yeah, that was like right before. That was like pretty much right before we left Japan, come back to LA for the most part.
What was that like? What was that like? Were you scared or were you like?
You're talking about when I was actually in the full on sumo thing, like shirtless and like it was like right.
Yeah, you were literally naked wearing like a thong or something. It was great.
I forgot. That's not the name of it. That's, I would give you the real name, but I kind of forgot. Someone in the chat knows because we have a bunch of weebs in the chat.
So you're going to correct me, but then not able to correct me. Nice. Go.
At least, yeah. So that, if you want me to speak on that real quick, that stream was a very special stream because at that time I was signed to Tempos, also known as Tempo Storm. It's a esports org and team. owned by Raynad, who a lot of people know. He's like he's like a legend in esports and gaming community and on Twitch. So basically, he had a vision that aligned with me as far as what IRL is and what it can be. So they launched an entire show called Game Changers. And this was like the very beginning, the initial thoughts and ideas of this, where they had a literal team with me that was producing a little bit higher quality content planned out in other countries. So this specific episode you're talking about was a sumo oriented or themed episode for this series we're going to have called Game Changers, where basically we're getting into the sumo culture and talking to a sumo guy and learning about sumo on stream. Very special stream because that is what I think the next step to IRL is. It's not going to be some just crazy travel show because that's might as well just go watch TV and be bored out of your mind. It's just the next level for like live streaming IRL on Twitch is going to have a little bit of polish, a little bit more planned content here and there. And we did that in Japan, and then we did it in Korea, and then COVID happened, and then it effed everything up. And I'm hoping that comes back.
Yeah, and we're going to get there in a second because I feel like COVID was such a game changer for you in so many ways. There's a couple of things I wanted to touch on too before we get into that. You know, I remember another thing was that I thought this was super cool. You got invited to Romania by BMW. Tell me about how that happened and what that experience was like.
Yeah, that was just luck. I mean, okay, that was actually Hungary. Romania was for a poker tournament. We went to Hungary for BMW. Yeah, so that's funny. That was just random. I mean, the experience of it. Oh yeah, because I was with Sushi Dragon. You had Sushi Dragon last week. Awesome. Actually, the connection. That was crazy. That was crazy. At that time, our stream was, I think, doing very well. We had a good foundation, and I was super excited. But what's funny about that is I received a Instagram DM from some company that said like, "Hey, we're interested in working with you with BMW," and I was like, the grammar was bad, punctuation was off, like misspelling, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I ignored it.
That's like, some like plot to Hostel,
dude. I ignored it for like three or 6 months, and then I got it again, and in an email format. And I was like, "Wait, did you guys DM me on Instagram like 6 months ago?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's us." And I was like, "Wait, is this really BMW? Can you prove it by like DMing me on BMW's thing?" Because I didn't believe them. And they did. And I was like, wait, what? But anyways, It was an agency that was just like, you know, not maybe non-native English speakers like in Europe that were doing it. And so like, I thought it was a scam at first, but then I was like, dude, what the hell? BMW wants me to come out to like Hungary and reveal a car on Twitch? Like, that's crazy. That's like,
oh, it was Hungary. Like, I thought it was Romania. My bad.
Yeah, Hungary. So, yeah, I mean, I was
Budapest, Bucharest.
True. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what to speak on that. I was just thrilled. And like, I'm flying across the world to do a BMW sponsorship and what happened in my life where I'm here. And like the thing in the big picture, like, you know, I guess I don't know how real I can get on this show, but like, you know, financially, monetarily, it's not like it's some life-changing like thing. It was just more of like, holy crap, like a company like BMW wants to work with me, and I'm like honored to even be like, you know,
well, I mean, that's a life experience that, you know, so many people would love to have. I mean, you just get picked up, you're flown out to whole nother country to a big company's reveal, and you're part of that, you know, star power of the show. And it's humbling, it's honoring, it's exciting. I just thought that, you know, that was super cool. That's something that I remember that, you know, you got to reveal this like huge thing. It was so cool. All right. So before we move into the future, last two things I want to talk about. You know, this is something that I've seen happen with female streamers more, but it's happened to you too. What's it like when you have stream snipers? Like some random fan just shows up in the middle of your stream. Like, tell me about that. Is any crazy occurrences with that? Like, I've never had that happen, but I did have it. Somebody actually showed up at my house with soup once. But tell me about that. What is that? Is that scare you? Is it cool? Is it annoying? Like, you know, you worried?
Yeah. Good question. I think I've luckily been able to kind of like mold a community and shape a community that overall is pretty cool. Like I would say 95% of the snipers we have over the past few years have all been cool for the most part. I've definitely kind of refined my my process with how a sniper comes. It's usually just like, hey, what's up? Oh, dudes, thanks for coming. You know, if they want to take a picture or whatever. And just like, I think it's crazy that they spend the time to come say hi to me because they enjoy watching my content. So I've always been super positive about it, mainly because as a Twitch viewer myself, like I would love if the viewer or the streamer I watch would be, open to me coming to say hi if they were nearby doing IRL streams, so I kind of just put that into my stream. So overall, it's okay. Yeah, IRL streaming in general does carry a little bit of danger with it, just being out there and people knowing where you are with no delay, right? So like that is there. I guess it's something we just don't think about too much. But we've had awesome snipers ranging from just a really good hello to like people who have now become my friends and like my inner circle in Japan for some of my original snipers. And, it's kind of crazy how they became friends of mine. But we have had like definitely bad experiences. We've had people that have been malicious, trying to say something bad or trying to like, get content for whatever they're doing, which is like, generally like borderline.
I saw Reddit had a huge boner for you when you saved some girl from a creep once.
That was good. I mean, Reddit's hot and cold. We've had some bad times too, but yeah, that was not a snipe, but that was a good internet.
Yeah, it just reminded me of that. All right, so that's going to go full circle to, we're going to go into the future. So the future for you, I know we talked about this on my stream last time, and what you're talking about, because we all know streaming is going to come to an end. By the way, guys, if you have questions, Q&A session is going to come in about 10 minutes. Make sure you ask your questions in chat now for myself or Jakenbake, for both of us. The producers are going to collect those and we're going to use them at the end. So make sure that if you have questions, to get them in there. So we talked past, you are, smart with your money. We talked last time about the dumbest thing you bought, which was a car and some stupid thing. And you're smart with your investments, and you're in AMD, and you've got a lot of good stuff, and you shield Neo. But I know you're smart with your money, and we've talked about it. But we talked this last time, and there's a lot of newer people here now, and that's it. What are your plans? We all know that streaming is going to come to an end, right? I mean, we can't stay on top forever. I mean, as we've both seen, I was a 70K Andy once, and now I'm here. You were 3,000 Andy, and now you're 100K Andy, 100 Andy. So we know that there's fluctuations, and we know that there's 300. Sorry, and we know that there's there. So what does the future hold for Jake? Like, I know you've had to think about this. You're a realistic guy. You're getting old. The hairline's going back like mine. What is the next step? Music videos? I mean, I did see a music video with you. I wish we could play it on stream, but I think it's probably DMCA'd.
Nah.
Yeah. So
granted.
So is the next step music videos, BTS? So what's the next step for Jake?
Music is on the back burner. Upcoming freestyle rap battler. But
Jake, can we stop for a second?
What?
What were you thinking
about
that music video? Like, what was going on in your head when you said this is a good idea?
Well, here's what's cool about that, because going along with what you saw in the sumo is that was a part of the Game Changer series. We went to Korea, and part of Korea is K-pop, some cultural stuff. So we decided we are going to, from start to finish, live stream the process of creating a song and doing a music video it took 2 days. So we streamed the entire creative process from making the song to the lyrics within a 5-hour stream, which is very fast for people who, like someone like me who has no experience singing, songwriting, to literally shooting a music video from beginning to end. The next day was like 8 hours, and all pieced together like in a day or two. And it was actually a crazy process. The outcome is a meme, and it's funny, and I like it. But it was actually like a super cool stream to see the process going to a producer studio. It was for the stream. Okay. That's all this is TLD.
Jake, all I'm saying is watching that video. I mean, no, listen. All I can say is I watched it. I refused to watch it forever because I was like, I can't see my boy down that bad. I watched it, and you look like you were like, I don't know. You look like you were a hostage in some like Russian warehouse, and they had pumped you full of drugs and forced you to do this song, or they were going to murder you. Like, that's what I was seeing.
Sure.
And I was like, poor Jake. I was like, honestly, until this Island Boys thing came out, you were probably, I was concerned. But you know what? All I'm going to say is there's no such thing as bad press. And there it is. It's on screen, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen it, it is on screen. There he is. Let's bring it back. Oh my God. You know what I just realized? You also look like you could have been a what do you call it? An extra on Twilight. Let's go back. Look at
yeah,
that's what it is. That's what it is. You look like a rejected extra from Twilight. But yeah, looking good there, Jake. Looking good there. So for those of you guys who haven't seen it, you definitely gonna have to check that out. Jake, listen. So future plans. You know, obviously you have what's plans? You're still dating the girl, right?
Here we go.
Water, right?
Water. Yes.
Yeah. How long have you guys been together?
Dude, 3 years, which is crazy.
3 years.
Yeah,
wow.
Time flies. Yeah. It's actually super fast. It's crazy. Yep.
And you know what? I think it's awesome that both of us decided to date up. Let's be real. Both of our significant others are significantly better looking than us. And they're both from Asia. So I think you and I have that in common. And, I think what you're saying, she's not better looking than you. My wife is 100 times better looking than me.
Look, I like to, mentally keep myself up a little bit. That way I don't get too hard on myself. So yeah, yeah, you're right. You're really right here. Okay.
I'm 100% right. You know that we're out of our league right now, right?
All right. Yeah. I'm just trying.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, Jake, I guess now, huh?
Nothing. No, you're good. Keep going.
Okay, I was just thinking about that because my wife was asking me, says, she says, who are you having on the interview tomorrow? Are you having the so-and-so? I said, no, they couldn't make it. It's like, oh, are you having so-and-so? I'm like, no, they couldn't make it either. She's like, who are you going to have? I was like, Jake. She's like, him again? I'm like, yeah, but have you remember
There's
last
no way.
time and everything like that? And so I told her to watch one of your old streams. And she saw your girlfriend and she goes, wow, she's so much better looking than him. And I said, haha. She goes, what are you laughing at? It's the same for us. And I went, oh shit, I just got roasted by my wife. So I appreciate the fact that they are putting up charity. So, all right. So now that we've got that established, the only thing I wanted to touch on before we get into question and answers and some other stuff from you is talk to me about COVID. So, your COVID experience, like, what? No. What is so funny? I'm being dead serious here. You went from.
You just said we're going to talk about the future, and then you just told a story about your wife called me ugly, and now we're talking about COVID.
No, my wife roasted you and I, and how we're both dating up, or both out of our league. Right, I thought that was a great connection.
All right, I'm ready. This is good.
Okay,
I love you.
So,
I love you.
The last, and this is part of the future talk. You went from being this massive creator for IRL, everything was hitting on all cylinders, and then you got thrown a huge wrench, which was COVID. Yes. You had to come back to the States. Yep. You had to come back to gaming. It wasn't your content, right? So that is part of this series, and that's how we overcome adversity. How has that been for you? And like, did that humble you? Did it concern you? Were you, where's your head at? What was the initial reaction? How have you dealt with it? And what are you looking at for the future coming out of it? What's going to change? Stop typing.
Yeah, sorry. I just had to tell someone what's up. Honestly, that was it was okay. COVID's crazy. All right. I was in China when it started. Like, I was there I wasn't in Wuhan, but I was nearby and I was there, like, as it was unfolding. And I had to leave China, like, right away, or else I would have been stuck, like, in China. It would have been crazy. If I didn't leave when I left, I would have actually been stuck there.
Wow.
So it all unfolded super fast. In my head, I was being as optimistic as possible. As like, all right, this isn't going to be that bad. It's going to get contained. Like, we'll figure it out. It'll be like the swine flu or something, which is like bad, but like it was not COVID bad. And so anyways, I traveled. I was going back to Japan. I was planning my move back to LA in March anyways, to like establish a home base in LA and then travel from LA, because finances are different now. I can have a home base back home with our family and friends, and I can travel and do IRL streams, similar to like how Andy Milonakis does it, I would say. So that was my goal. And I moved back in March, like literally just as COVID was ramping up in the US, and it just everywhere was getting bad. And this is in 2020. So the whole game changers thing we've talked about now is we had about 6 months and like 6 different countries of content, like ready to go. We had things like ideas and stuff, or places we were going to go, streamers we were going to stream with, and content ideas. Basically, like I think it was going to grow IRL, like to the next level. I really think that was the year for it, and COVID happened and just wiped it all clean. And came back home, quarantine, staying indoors.
Wait, did you bring COVID here?
Yes. No.
Because I remember the first case in the U.S. was somebody in California.
No. What's crazy though is like I went from China to Korea, and then Korea started outbreaking, and I went from Korea to Japan, and then Japan started outbreaking, and then went from Japan to US, and then US started outbreaking. I was like, it was following me, dude. I got really lucky though.
Following you. Okay. Are you vaccinated now?
I am.
That was I shouldn't have asked that, because I just realized that if because
are you on the front page? It's controversial.
It's controversial. I just realized, I'm like, if you said no, I'd have been like, oh no, here we go. Now I'm going to have to get into this whole thing. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you're
so
from Florida,
now that we've established you were in China, you brought COVID here. It really messed with your IRL. So you went to gaming, and now your viewership is down 90% or has been, right? But we're opening back up, right?
Are you memeing?
No, I was just saying, like, you went from a 3,000 viewer streamer to a 300 viewer streamer for a while.
Okay, I only get 300 viewers if I start my stream literally playing WoW. Okay, I get about 1,000 viewers if we have a typical at the computer stream. Okay, it's not that bad. And
sorry, the last few times I went in were last year.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, okay. So sorry, what was your question again? Do you want to talk about COVID, or sorry, your question one more time?
No, just wanted to know about what how you were able to adapt to the sudden drop in your lifestyle, and
sure.
and how you're able, anything you're able to use to pivot going forward.
Sure. Yeah. So when COVID happened,
I love you, Jake. Come on, you got this.
Yeah. We love each other. This is true. When COVID happened, we knew right off the bat things are going to change. Everything 180'd on our content. I also was super optimistic the whole time, and I still am, even a year and a half, almost 2 years later. Like, it's not going to be that much longer until the world opens up, and we will have the freedom to travel and do the things I wanted to do, and that was the goal. Luckily, in the beginning, we were writing some different game waves like Valorant and stuff, which I got into, and at first it was interesting to see this IRL streamer do computer games for like 3 or 4 months, I would say, and then it got kind of stale because I honestly am not that. I don't think I'm that entertaining on the computer. It's not what I wanted to do. I didn't think I'm going to be a streamer and be a variety streamer, computer streamer, although I love computer games and I'm dad playing good at them. I mean, dude, I'm the AT&T Navigator Cup champion. I took out people like Shroud in a freaking, let's not talk about that. Those people got destroyed, absolutely owned, multi-game platform over. Anyways, let's not talk about being a champion. Let's just talk about COVID. So yeah, I had a 180 on everything. So in my mindset, I've basically been like, all right, luckily, we're at a financial place where we can kind of ride this out. I got really lucky and also got offered a Twitch contract, which was honestly one of the most, like, just timing wise, has to be the best timing thing, because that helps me feel financially stable even when numbers are low.
You got a Twitch contract?
Yeah. So that was about a year ago. Yeah.
Oh,
I think I can talk about that. Yeah. Yeah,
you're not giving any specifics.
I was just signed to Twitch. Yep. So that was huge because that helps me feel stable, which is one thing that being a streamer is the worst thing about streaming is feeling unstable. And honestly, I just look forward to the future. Like, I'm very optimistic. I look forward to what's going to happen, not what has happened. I try to have that mindset in life. So I look forward to, dude, IRL is going to come back. It's going to be more in demand than ever. Technology's catching up a little bit, and I don't know what that smirk is on your face, but
somebody wrote in the chat that Stocky wants a contract too, because they know I don't want a contract, but they're laughing. Okay, real quick, you're familiar with the Twitch League thing? Exactly. The messed up. For those of you guys who think I'm mean to Jake, we're not. We're good friends. We've been friends for a long time. So if you're new to the stream here, we're just giving each other a little fun at the end of the stream here. But the big roast is that according to alleged leaks, an IRL streamer who doesn't stream IRL was actually 13 places higher than I was. So that was that's where this is coming
I'm more
from.
Than 13. No, I am.
I thought you were like 399.
I'm 35. I'm 35 away from you, dude.
You were not number 35. You're so full of crap.
I'm 377. I'm 35 places
35 higher. I thought you meant number 35. Okay, 377.
That's
I got
why
you.
It's hard to communicate with you.
See, guys, he's mean to me too. But listen, this interview series has been people we didn't know, so they're not used to me, having fun at the end of it.
Okay.
All right, guys. So let's jump into a few things. This has been a lot of fun. It's really been awesome to get to know Jake in a different way. Obviously, the story has been amazing, and it's been a lot of ups and downs. But
what?
There's a few things I want
from way down there. What'd you say? What? Sorry, what? Let me turn on my headphones.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought that was your girlfriend talking to you.
Okay, I can hear you now. Sorry, go again.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the hotness scale. Okay. All right. So I want to end with a couple things before we get into it. I want to do a Q&A, but before we do, without all the joking and roasting, Jake, one thing I like to talk about at the end of these streams is all seriousness, is that there's a lot of people out there struggling right now. There's a lot of people out there struggling right now, whether it's because they don't have a job or they're in a dead end job or they're in a situation that they hate and they want to pursue things or they want to break out of it or they want to find something to cling on to, right? And a lot of times, especially for those of us that have aged and gotten older, and a lot of experiences, we know that it's just like in investing, it's about time, right? It's about holding, diamond handsing through the dips or buying the dips and holding because time and, eventually it keeps going and going and going and you get through those things. In the short term, it seems like the market's crashing or your life is falling apart or whatever like that. But once we go back and look over, like, I'm sure glad I held through those dips because I'm glad of where I'm at now, right? But one thing we always say to ourselves is in investing is, man, I sure wish I would have bought more of XYZ when it was however much, right? I'm glad I bought it, but I wish I bought more. Same thing in life. We like to look back and say, you know what? I wish I would have known this, or I wish that somebody would have told me this. So if you could go back to 17-year-old Jake right now, and you got to say one thing to 17-year-old Jake, and he didn't know it was you, it was a whisper in the ear, and it was all you could do. You could only say one small sentence to 17-year-old Jake. What would that be?
I'm not going to talk about financial stuff. I'm going to say go sooner. Like, do it all sooner. Like, I think, just go sooner. I don't know. Yeah,
basically, like those older people at the hotels, they all said something different, but the same sign, the same general message was, do it now.
Yeah.
Don't wait.
Yeah. I think I just say that because I think the things I did were already kind of crazy in a sense, and I waited long enough for that. But I wish I would have known the importance of traveling and learning and language learning, and whatever I learned in China. If I would have done that 3 years sooner, it might have been. It would just give more time for things to develop. Maybe, I don't know. That's it.
Yeah, like I said, I think a lot of people do that. They always say a year from now you're going to wish you started today. Whether it's losing weight, working out, asking that person out that you have a crush on, whether it's investing, whether it's picking up another hobby or do whatever. A year from now you're going to wish you started today. And looking back on the last year, we know how quick that has going. How it's gone by. Okay, with the last few minutes, Jake, I hope you're okay with this. I'd like to open up the floor to some Q&A from everybody, for you, me, both of us, or whatever, and have some fun with it and see, because they've been collecting questions the whole time. So if you're cool with that.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Jake, first question. Were you Horde or Alliance?
Horde? What do I look like? A little, can I say that word?
No.
What do I look like? Alliance? That's ridiculous. Who the hell plays Alliance? Oh, they're role playing in Goldshire. Oh, let me pour some tea for you. I'm a little. Yeah, get out of here.
Okay. That's just rude. Okay, I was Alliance. Okay. All right. So we got a question from Pouncing Kitten, and Pouncing Kitten asked, "Did you think it was going to be easy to get a job in a foreign country?"
Really good question. No, I think it's hard to get a job in a foreign country, especially without work experience abroad and really good language skills. When I was talking about getting a job in another country, if that's what they're talking about, I was talking about getting like a part-time job at Starbucks, or like that was literally what I thought, Starbucks part-time job, which typically they'll hire international students who are studying Japanese and stuff. It's very common for like little part-time jobs like that. So in that case, I would think that would be kind of easy-ish. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we've got one from Ranger and Rogue, and he says, will you please, okay, never mind. That's something that I have to do when Teach Me Something, which we're going to do here in a minute. How much patience, this comes from BMAC, how much patience does it take to be friends with Stocky?
A lot. Honestly, I don't know. Like sometimes I think he's like serious when he's not. Sometimes I think he's joking when he's serious. And so it's hard to read him. I need more time with him off the stream, and when he's not sipping on whatever that tang is, it's getting him going kind of crazy. It's hard. It's honestly hard. You should see his DMs with me. His DMs with me are like I have like Mizkiff DMs, and Mizkiff's a jerk, you know. But Stocky's like I honestly I'm like, dude, how do I reply to this? This guy's like, it's just awkward. I think he hates me.
I'm jealous of your hairline. I'm self-projecting.
Dude, you have more thick hair. My hair, Water gave me a head rub the other day, and my pillow was a mound of hair. It was bad. It was scary.
Are you ever gonna marry her, have kids?
It's not like it's been planned already thing, but it's like, Okay,
the only reason I ask is because my hair was fine, and then I had a child, and it just started going away. All right, couple other questions, and then I want you to teach me something. I'm going to tell you a story that these guys are going to roast me for. Here you go. Other than Japan and China, this is from Ratio J. Other than Japan and China, where would your next IRL stream be?
IRL streams will be pretty much all over. We're definitely going to go back to the places we love.
Where do you want to go to the most?
If I could go anywhere right now, it'd be mainland China or Japan, or like 50-50. I think mainland China is the most untapped content. And
okay, let me try this again. Other than Japan and China, where would you like to IRL most next?
I've been everywhere I kind of want to go, but the next places I haven't been I want to go are going to be Vietnam and then Australia and New Zealand.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yep.
Very different places there, especially with the culture and climate. Okay. Jake, I'm going to answer some more questions here, but there's a part of the segment where I like everyone to teach me something. Okay, I need to be taught something I don't know, and that's what it's part of learning about somebody, right? Like I've learned a lot about you, and you have a lot of skills that I don't have, and I want you to teach me something. And now the reason I'm going to ask you to teach me this is there's something that happened on my stream, and I'm going to tell you about it. Okay. We had a viewer call in during our streamer call-ins on Fridays, and he was from Peru. And he was telling me about how, the stream and the community helped him get into investing and learning about stocks and everything like that. And there was somebody talking in the background, and I asked him who it was, and he said that it was his mother. Well, I stupidly assumed automatically that she was Peruvian. So I said, hey, tell your mom I said, hola madre. And he goes, oh, no, my mom's Chinese. And I went, konnichiwa. I did not realize in the moment that wasn't like, for some reason I didn't understand. I said, tell her I said konnichiwa. And he was like, no, dude. So I have never lived that moment down because I realized that somebody told me that was Japanese and she's Chinese. So can you tell me or teach me how to say hello in Chinese, in Mandarin?
Sure. And for you or anyone in the chat that doesn't know, Japan and China are two different places and they speak different languages. So yes. Yeah, sure. So in Chinese, if you want to say hi, just a quick little hello, you can just say ni hao.
Ni hao.
So very simply. Yeah. So your tones are incorrect.
Can Water teach us?
She's probably asleep right now, or not able to come on camera.
Damn it. All right. Ni hao. Okay.
Yeah. So your tones are wrong, but conversationally, no Chinese person will ever be like, oh, you messed up your tones. Like it's fine. It's
not ni hao. Ni hao. Ni hao.
No, just follow me.
Ni hao.
How? Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah.
Ni hao.
So ni hao, it literally means you good. That's like the literal translation. But yeah, it just means hello.
Oh my God, that's
ni hao.
No, I can't say something that says you good because there's another meme on this channel because of that.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much ready for Neo at this point. Neo, ni hao, hey, it all ties together. It's all
no.
we
we were going out when my wife was still pregnant. I still had a hairline. We were walking out to my car, and our neighbor had hired some guy like off the street to help him do yard work. And the guy was like tattooed up, and he was drunk as much as he could. And I was helping her get in the car, and I looked over, and the guy was doing this, and he looked at me, just stared at me, and I stared at him. He goes, "Hey, yo, you good? You Barbie can looking mother." And I was like, what the? What I don't even know who this guy is. Like, the dude wanted to fight me in my driveway. And so my neighbor comes running out and he's like, yo, man, shut up. He's like, I'm so sorry, dude. I don't even know this guy. I just hired him. So, okay. So ni hao. Nice. Okay. So ni hao. So the next time that guy calls in, I'll know how to say hello.
Okay. Let's teach you one more thing that you can tell his mom. Okay.
All right.
It's just follow me. I'll tell you what it means after. It's a ni hen piao liang.
Ni hen piao liang.
Okay, so it's just knee. Think about knee, like your knee. Hen, knee. like a chicken, a hen. Knee hen.
Knee hen.
Piao liang.
Piao liang. Knee hen piao liang.
Yes, tell that to his mom.
Knee hen piao liang. Piao liang. Piao liang.
Piao liang. Yeah, piao liang. Yeah.
Knee hen piao liang.
They'll understand that, but it's piao liang. Yeah.
Piao liang. Piao liang.
Yeah, you can type in your chat so you can see it phonetically.
Ni hen piao liang. Liang.
It's in the chat phonetically.
Ni hen piao liang.
Perfect. That's so good. Yeah, it means you're really
Ni hen piao liang.
Perfect. Yeah, it's good.
What's that mean? What does ni hen piao liang mean?
It means you're really pretty, really beautiful. Or maybe you're really pretty.
Well, if it's my chat's mom, I'll need to ask them something else. But okay. All right. So now I know ni hao and ni hen piao liang.
Dude, that's actually really good. Yeah. For like, it's very hard to speak Chinese like without any knowledge of it. And that's just, you're good. It's not like perfect tonnage or anything, but like that's enough. Yeah.
Okay.
I would people clap you. Yeah. It's pretty good.
People claps in chat. Thank you. Yep. That's awesome. Of course, one guy goes, Stocky, your tone is off. Like, there's always one guy out there.
Yeah, but you don't worry about tones when you're first, like, 2 seconds of learning. Yeah.
All right. Well, Jake, I'm contractually obligated to go 10 more minutes, but let's, before we do, we have something else that I do with everybody, okay? I need you to just give me 3 random letters.
3, HAO.
HAO. All right.
Yep.
Well, just so you are aware, I have everyone who comes on give 3 random letters, and that becomes a mixture of those letters becomes the YOLO. So what ends up happening is everybody who comes on for these interviews, we take 3 random letters and we find a stock that is those 3 random letters, and it's a contest. And so from today close until next Tuesday at close, your stock, we are going to track it, and whatever percentage it is in that week is going to be in line. So as you can see on the screen ahead of you right now, Maria Ho, Poker Pro, was the first one here. She picked Mitsubishi Financial Group. She actually lost money. Sushi Dragon gave us URM, which he said stood for your mom, but we found MUR, which was nice. Murphy Oil. Good timing for Murphy Oil. And so Murphy Oil actually, he actually squeaked out a little bit, and the day's not over yet, so he might do better.
Nice.
So that is what we have right now. And for you have chosen, let's take a look. HAO, we don't have an HAO, so we're going to have to go with those letters somewhere else. So we'll go with AOH. Which is Miso Illinois Hub Peak Calendar Month Futures, or let's see, HOA. Okay. OHA.
I feel like I chose a bad one.
We'll find one and we'll let you know what it is. Okay. So that is what we're going to find out with your pick. Either that or HOA stands for homeowner association, which means that you're just toxic. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, that is what is going to happen. Miso Futures is what is actually funny because we were talking about Japan and and it just kind of falls in line. So maybe Miso Futures, yeah, we'll call you back. We'll call you back, buddy. But Jake, that's pretty much it for today. Ever since you came on, the market is absolutely getting rocked. We've gone from being 0.5% up on the day to actually about to go red on the day. So I'm not going to blame you for that, but it is an unfortunate side effect of what has taken place. But listen, dude, thank you so much for coming on. Honestly, I know we always roast each other and have fun and jokes, but you're a good friend of mine, of the channel. I was glad to have you. I know you almost didn't show up today because you overslept, but like I said, it was really awesome to have you. And I think your story is incredible. I'm glad we actually got to talk on a serious note for 90% of this, because you have a great story. You've lived a life that a lot of people would love to live, and you didn't give it handed to you. You took the risks, and you know, a lot of people say, well, he's just lucky, or he just had it given to him. No, you took risks and you were willing to fail. And if you didn't take those risks and you played it safe, you'd be working at some job that you might be laid off from, or working in some desk, some office space staring at a concrete wall. But no, you took a chance to do what you loved, and it worked out. And it's not always going to work out, but you never would have even had the chance to see if it did if you didn't take the risk. And so I think that that's amazing. I think your story is incredibly inspirational. I think you're an awesome guy. I think you're hilarious. You're one of the few people that I've met on Twitch that I would love to hang out with anytime. If you're ever in Miami or in South Florida, look me up. I would love nothing more to do an IRL stream with you. Awesome. But Jakenbake, I don't think anyone needs an introduction for the OG, the godfather of IRL himself, jakenbakeLIVE. You know, it took him years to become a baker, and here he is. Jake, how can they find you?
You can find me on the links that are in the chat, I guess. But yeah, twitch.tv/jakenbakeLIVE. Everything is jakenbakeLIVE. And on TikTok. Yeah, we're going to the moon on TikTok, baby. We got 7 million views on that video. Anyways, that's it. All the normal stuff, jakenbakeLIVE. Doing a lot of computer stuff, but looking forward to IRL that's opening up soon, and having more fun times out there. So it was a good time. And dude, that means a lot. Thanks for saying those nice words. I'll be here. I was here before GME, and I'll be here long after, you know.
I'll come visit your stream again sometime.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
Jake, much love, dude. Have a great one. Thanks again for being awesome.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Go get some sleep, buddy.
No, I'm good. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. It was fun.
All right, guys, that is it for today's episode, To the Moon, episode 3, jakenbakeLIVE. Amazing. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for showing up. We will be back at it again next week with another guest. Who it's going to be, you'll have to stick around to find out. Follow me on Twitter where you get the announcement, and we'll let it know. Hopefully, it'll be the person will be on time this time. So it has been good. It has been great, guys. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure. We'll see you guys next week. Mods, ban Jake and Bake from chat. We'll see you there. Remember, guys.
Bye-bye.
To the moon.